everybody. Chicken. Girl. Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel if you have been here before. I figured I would film a sit down and get ready with me and talk about the time I lost the love of my life. Chicken girl. Now, it's really not that serious, it's not that deep, and but this is an amazing story that I continue to tell to all of my friends because I think it taught me an insanely valuable message. So I am happily in a relationship now, and I'm with somebody who's very compatible for me. But before, I was on Hinge. I was on Hinge, Tinder, all the dating apps, because I feel like nowadays, like, that's just like the way that people meet each other. And you can be more selective with, like, I hate that it's based off appearances, but you can also be more selective with, like, knowing what you kind of want and what you're searching for and what maybe your partner can provide to you, whether that's height, relationship, not relationship, height, job status, I don't even know. Just, like, you can see so many things and really get to, like, be selective with your dating options. So I think being on there for a while really is brutal because you get, like, too selective, and also it's just, like, so vain. Like, it's so incredibly vain, and I'm not gonna be the first person to, like, deny that, you know? Like, I think that people, that's a whole other video. I'll tell you that's a whole other video. But anyways, I matched with this guy who I thought was literally, like, exactly what I was looking for, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is, like, literally, like, the man of my dreams, basically. And this is off of a photo. This is off of a photo, an idea of what I thought in my head, right? Coming back now and reflecting, I'm still sad that I fumbled, but, like, I'm so much happier with what I ended up with, and what I ended up with is what was, like, meant for me, you know what I mean? Like, and in the best way, you know? And I'm so much happier, and I am spoiled rotten, and I really couldn't ask for a better, like, man or relationship, truly. But at the time, I'm getting so selective. Like, I want somebody who works out, I want somebody who has, like, a nice job, like, I want somebody who's, like, I don't even know. I feel like just, I don't even know. You know when you know, like, what your type is? Like, I feel like everybody has, like, a unique type, and I thought I had an idea of what it was, and anyways, this man was perfect. I was like, and he was showing an insane amount of interest to me at first, and I was like, oh, I'm not really that interested, you know what I mean? Like, at first I really wasn't. At first I was going on the app, like, maybe once a week, and he was actively, like, trying to pursue me. I feel like we were, I don't know, maybe he thought we were compatible, or maybe he was just doing that to every girl. I really have no idea. But I was like, he agreed to, like, talk on the phone, and I was like, okay, because I hate texting. I'm horrible at texting. I'm one of those people who has, like, a million unread text messages, and I'm just, like, constantly doing stuff and being social. So, or even when I'm not, I'm just, like, unplugged. So he agreed to a phone call, and we talked on the phone, and it went really good, and we decided to, oh my god, do I want to go into details? Woo! We decided to, oh my gosh, he's so removed, and there's no way that he's watching this. I really, really hope. But still, it's, like, really embarrassing because I was literally, so, like, you know when you like somebody a lot and you try to play it cool? Like, I was, like, at first I didn't really like him as much, and then the more he like complimented me and just made me feel extremely special, like the more I was like realizing all these nice traits. And of course, I don't know if it's true for the male experience, but for the female experience, the second they're like not into you anymore, they're not giving you that much attention, the more you're like going cuckoo crazy, because you're like, oh my gosh, like this person was so like into me, at least they said that they were, and then literally now he wants nothing to do with me. Like what? Like literally what did I do wrong? And then you see all like their traits and you're like, oh, he's perfect for me. But before you were like not even answering really. Yeah, I'm definitely a victim, or not a victim. I'm like that. I definitely do that. So, you know, so we decided to meet up, and I was on a journey where I've always been kind of health conscious and like aware of like what I'm putting in my body. So I don't really like to neglect my like my meal plan, or like what I'm like my goal. So I didn't want to have any coffee after 5 originally. He asked me to go to coffee, and I was like, no, like I don't like to drink coffee after 5 o'clock. Or have any caffeine intake after 5 o'clock. I just feel like it's not good for me. So we decided to walk at the park. And oh my god, this man got out of the car literally looking like freaking Captain America or something. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like so freaking nervous, but I'm just like playing it off so good. Like you would never be able to tell that I had I mean, maybe, I don't think so. I just was like, the second he got out of the car, I was like, oh my, is this man real? Like, is this real right now? Like, is this literally real? And also I have so much anxiety. So like, I really wasn't going on any Hinge dates before I went through this like process of like talking on the phone and like seeing if we could even like converse before we got there. Cause I also had an experience where I went on a date and like the conversation was just like really, like it was just like a really uncomfortable experience. So I like try to like talk on the phone first, and it went well. Like we were chatting it up. I was like, oh my gosh. And you know, he told me he was looking for a girlfriend. Like he was like, I am looking for a girlfriend, and he just like made me feel like I was perfect for him, like made me feel like whatever. And because I am crazy, and because he was so handsome and had so many things going for him, I literally was like, I was convinced that he could not be into me. Like I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you interested in me? Because I was so like almost like not starstruck, but like astonished. I was like, I feel like this guy could literally have whoever he wanted, and he's talking to me, and he wants to like try to like work towards a relationship with me possibly. Like obviously he wasn't like, obviously he wanted to like get to know each other first, but he was like on the app for intentions of finding a girlfriend, which it looks like this dude could like juggle like 30 girls at once because he was just so attractive, you know what I mean? So I was like trying to play it cool, you know, and like trying not to act too interested. And he basically was like saying that he was interested in a girlfriend, but he didn't really take me on a real date. Like he took me to the park, and then he came over to my house, right? And we hung out at my house, which like just because you don't take me on a real date doesn't mean that you're contradicting what you're saying. But for me, it seems like, you know, if you try to like hang out alone or at home, it seems like you're really trying to like not date. It seems like you're trying to like get into the hookup culture, right? But like, you know, I don't want to assume those things, but it's hard for me to not. So he was telling me he wanted a girlfriend, but like I just felt like his moves and his actions were very much on par with somebody who was just trying to get in the hookup culture. So I'd be like, listen, like if you just want something casual, like I'm open and interested in that. And he would be like, no, like he would reaffirm me like constantly that no, like I'm trying to work towards a relationship, and like I'm very interested in you. You're so beautiful and you have so many good things going for you. And like he was just saying all the right things, but I feel like his actions contradicted like what he was saying. So, you know, so now I'm starting to go crazy, right? I'm starting to go literally crazy. And it ended up crashing and burning very, very quickly because I just was so insecure and so like paranoid that this dream guy that I was looking for like literally just walked into my life, and like he just walked into my life and, you know, wanted to pursue me, and then he was gonna leave, right? Like that's just, or he was gonna like want something from me, take it and go, right? Which I feel like is a lot of girls' fears. And when you come across a man who's very attractive and has a lot of like charisma, or is like very charming, like it's the assumption that like you know what you're doing. Like someone cooked there. Someone definitely cooked there. And I was just like, this guy, I just cannot figure him out. So shortly after, like, I kind of just kept like questioning him. Like I literally just kept being like, or like contradicting what he's saying, because I'm like, you're saying all this stuff, but like here's what you're doing and here's how it looks to me. Meanwhile, we've only hung out twice. So it's like I was going crazy, you know what I mean? And I feel really bad now because like I really do think he had good intentions, and I can tell you why in a little bit. But I was just I feel so sad for myself, but I also am so blessed, and I learned such an amazing lesson from this experience. So this is where it gets a little bit more optimistic, right? So I ended up kept questioning him, and I eventually like pushed him away because I was just embarrassingly like just like being not disrespectful, but almost like if somebody's saying one thing and then every minute you're gonna like doubt them, like that's like not. I should have communicated, hey, I'm really interested in you and I'm scared that what you're saying is not true. Like I just need some reassurance. But instead I was doing like weird things, like trying to like play the dumb mind games, or just, I don't even know, like if you're a girl or even if you're a guy, you know that like when things are new, you're like, oh, I don't want to seem too interested, but I don't want to seem uninterested. And especially when the stakes are so high, like this man comes into your life and like you think it's exactly what you're looking for, it tells you he wants to be together, and then so it was so bad. But anyways, I gotta stop talking in circles here. So I ended up pushing him away. But here's what I learned from the situation. First of all, the more crazy I got, the more he drew back, which is apparent and obvious, right? I feel like in the beginning stages, you do have to have a little bit of faith that it is gonna like work out, and just like be patient and not be too rushed. But that being said, also for the opposition side, if you feed all these like if you feed all these things in my head, like, oh, like I want to be together, like I'm gonna start believing you know what I mean? So I'm gonna start like getting attached. And I feel like you can't say those things too soon because you really got to feel it out. But also you just have to have open, honest communication. But what I tell this story to so many girls because I think it taught me to like kind of have faith, because you, like, if he's telling you something, odds are, especially from like a man's perspective, like I feel like men don't play games as often, and like when they're saying something, like, believe them when they're saying something until they give you a solid reason to not. And also, if you're feeling like insecure, it's okay to say like, hey, like, I just want to check in because, you know, I thought you were working towards a relationship, and just like the way we've been hanging out is very casual. So I just want to clarify that that's like what you're working towards. And just say that instead of being like, I don't know, I was trying to play it cool so bad. And it was just so embarrassing, truly, because I had all these feelings and I was just like, so, like, the more he like reassured me, the more I like question him and push him away. And I tend to do that like in life. Like, if good people are trying to get in and like trying to tell you things, doubting them and questioning them and pushing them is always a bad option. Like, you don't want to do that to somebody, because it makes them feel invalidated and also makes them question, like, is this really worth it? Because, like, there's a difference between reaffirming and, like, doubting. And, like, I wish I just reaffirmed instead of, like, doubting him. You know what I mean? But, so I want to, like, share the story for the girlies who are maybe talking to somebody and they're getting into that stage where they're like starting to get attached, starting to get a little cuckoo crazy. I feel like when you start to like, when you're planting seeds, like a man is looking for a girlfriend, you start to fantasize about being his girlfriend, right? So you start to go like a little crazy. And I just want to say, in those beginning stages, like when you're talking to a man, you do want to like pay attention to what he's saying and what he's doing, and if they are contradictory, maybe discuss it, but also like give it some time, because like things will come to light. And I also wanted to like mention, like, why are we only interested the second somebody starts to pull away and starts to not give us that attention? Because now I realize, like, maybe we weren't quite aligned. Maybe he really wasn't the one for me, but like losing somebody who was so interested and then was so uninterested really just made me feel like insecure and made me want to chase. And like, then I was like chasing after, like, why am I chasing after someone now who's like uninterested? Like, I should have been investing my energy when they were interested. Like, why do I only want what I can't have? You know what I mean? So that's a whole nother layer to it. But I would just say, like, trying to have faith and like letting it play out is the best way to do it. And try not to go like obsessive and crazy. It's so hard. It's so hard when you really like someone and you realize you really like someone. But I think when it gets obsessive and crazy, they may not be giving you the energy and the attention that you need or that you're looking for. So, and that's when I started to go crazy. Not when it was stable and not when it was comfortable. You know what I mean? When it was like I had to beg for his attention, and you don't want to do that either. And now I'm in such a happy and healthy relationship, like where everything that I'm feeling and everything that I'm saying, I can really communicate, and we're just like learning from each other and like making each other the best versions of ourselves. Like, I can't even imagine why I was like so sad over somebody who didn't want me in the first place. Well, maybe not in the first place, but after I, you know, ruined it. And the person I'm with now, I'm like so compatible with, like we're so aligned and we have such a healthy relationship, and he just makes me a better person. And at the end of the day, like, you want what wants you, and like chasing after a fantasy is like never good. Like, you want to chase after like reality and like what you're getting, but sometimes that's when things like get neglected. Like, I feel sad that in the moments that, you know, my current boyfriend or this man were like trying to give me like attention and love, were the moments that they were ignored. Like, that's like, pay attention to the people who like want to love you, you know what I mean? And like, don't fight it or push it away, and everything will work out the way that it's supposed to, I promise. And I'm so thankful and happy now, but I just wanted to share the story because I want to always like spread a good message and like teach girls to like have faith and like be patient. And odds are, if you're obsessing, it's not a healthy like communication. Obviously in the first couple months you can't expect too much of that, you know, back and forth. But I think what also will ground you and have stability is like setting up those plans, like being like, oh, like, you know, let's see each other again, or, and then you don't feel like you have to like yearn for their attention. But yeah, I learned a lot from this, not to push people away who want to love me, and to be patient and to have faith. So I hope that this story taught you the same kinds of things, and you can take away the same kinds of things, and you know, want people who want you. Like, give your love and attention to those people who like want it, you know what I mean? And not the ones who are like running away from you. But yeah, I gotta go. I am actually on my way to hang out with the girlies, so I gotta go. But thank you so much for tuning in and continuing to support me. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. Check out my other socials if you're interested in connecting with me elsewhere. And until next time, have faith, be patient. Things will work out, I promise. Okay, bye. P.S. I also just have to say, my current boyfriend is just as handsome and beautiful and gorgeous and kind, and he is all these things. I just did not realize it because I am somebody who wants something that I can't have, you know what I mean? He was right in front of me, like willing to give me the world, and I was like, nah, too easy. What's wrong with me? Literally, what's wrong with me?